Let's talk about this Greenworks mower for a little bit. This is a 21-inch, 13-amp motor. It's a corded version. They do have some cordless versions, but I went with the corded one. I'll talk about that later. So here it is. I've been using this for about 6 months at this point. I feel it's enough time for me to discuss and talk about what I like and what I don't like about this electric lawnmower. This one is called the 3-in-1 mower. 3 because it has 3 different ways for you to operate the mower and mow the lawn. One of them is using this side chute that we have here. I never use that chute. Let me show you the other ones here. So this is the back end where you'll be able to access the mulch plug and also the attach the catcher. So the catcher goes, it hooks onto these clips to this bar here, and the other side, locks onto here. You lift this, the blades come out there and go into the catcher. Right now what you're looking at is the mulch plug. It's pretty easy to pull out. You just have to give it a little umph. Here's the mechanism that you use to increase or to lower the height of the mower. It's very easy to use. You pull it off to the side, you either move it forward or you move it back. If you want to go higher or if you want it to go lower. Although the top looks big, it looks bulky, it looks large, there's actually a lot of space inside. That motor doesn't even take up that much room in there. We'll open it up later so you can see what I'm talking about. One of the things to note about this mower is that the catcher is, somewhat small or medium size. I'm not really familiar with different sizes of catchers. I've read people say that this is actually a small one. I mean, it is small and therefore it's not going to carry that much clipping, so you have to dump it out. However, it's not going to weigh heavily. A larger catcher would definitely add weight to it because it would carry more clippings, and as you mow it, it'll give you a heck of a workout if it were heavier. So the mower itself is lightweight and it doesn't carry too much clippings. I don't really use the catcher that much. It's not a big deal to me. For me, it works out great. For compact storage, you can just pull this here on this side. It loosens up enough for you to be able to release this. Just unscrew it, take it off, take that one off, and then you can fold this whole arm forward so that you get, from here to here, it won't block any of take up any storage from here to here. Here we have a 16 gauge and a 14 gauge thickness electrical cord. Since I do run a 100 feet cord, it is recommended to get a 14 gauge. If you want, you can even go 12. If you're going to go beyond 100 feet, you obviously want to get to 12. But if you're going to go, between 50 and 100, you definitely want to use 14 gauge. If you're going to use between, 0 to 50 feet of cord length, 16 is okay. So 16 gauge here. This little hanger that you see here at the middle point, it's a holder for the cord. Usually what you do is you make a little loop, you enter the loop here, and you wrap the loop around here. Let me show you what it looks like after it's done. So this is what it looks like when it's wrapped in there. Unfortunately, if you are using the 14 gauge, the 14 gauge is too thick for it to create a loop and a wrap around this clip here. So the 16 gauge works well, 14 gauge does not work well. But I'll show you what I do with the 14 gauge. 14 gauge, I just make a simple knot here, right at this middle part, the middle part of the mower, and just attach it. You don't need a fancy knot. And from there, if it tugs, definitely won't disconnect. You're fine, nothing, no big deal. This is the grip area where you actually hold the mower. I've seen some people online complain about this ripping prematurely after 6 months. This is the damage that I've given it, or that it's resulted from my usage. I don't think it's a big deal personally, although I did have the previous model, and when this whole thing came off, this bar, when you pull it back, it would tap back and forth because you get a vibrating motion from the motion of the motor. that's not comfortable. I mean, I suggest, I'm pretty sure you can find something else at the hardware store to add here. For me, it's not a big deal. For me, the performance goes down to the blades, the cutting, the mowing, and other features. So the mower has a safety feature. Even if you were to pull back on this bar and it's connected, it will not turn on, because you need to have pressed this button and then you pull it back like this. So let's try it again. Push the button, pull back.
Now let's take a look at the line that we did right now. This is using the mulch plug. Let's zoom in. Let's take a look at some details there. Details over there. It's actually a pretty clean cut, if you ask me. I mean, I really like this mower. Let's see what it looks like if we were to cut it with the catcher.
Got the catcher on, and now let's give it a test with the catcher. Doing this one-handed. Press the button, pull back. So these are the two lines that I did. This one here using the mulcher, this one here using the catcher. Don't know if you guys can see any difference or if there is any difference. Let's take a closer look here down. And when I use the catcher, it's pretty sharp. I think it does a great job. So let's have a look at the underside of this mower. You have a 14mm nut here. That's holding the mulching blade here. It's got two different shapes here, so just in case you remove the blade, there's really only one way to put it back. You're not going to be able to put it on the wrong way. So you can, I did it with an impact wrench. My electric DeWalt was able to take care of this easily. I've seen other people there where they lodge a piece of wood under the blade and then they just use a regular socket wrench to remove this. Pretty easy stuff. I was wrong about the socket size. I have a 16mm socket here. This one should be able to go through without an issue. Let's check. Yep, fits real good. The 14, it didn't fit at all. So 16 is the size that you're going to need to remove this blade here. I've already got the socket attached to my DeWalt impact wrench. So just put it on there. And that comes right off. There it is. And the blade comes off easily. You can also pull this part too if you wanted to. With the one hand it's a little bit challenging, but anyways, this will come off as well. Just wanted to show you guys what it looked like when I pulled this thing back here. Pulled that off and you can actually already start seeing the inside of the motor here. So there you have it. This is what it looks like. Electric lawnmower from the underside. And of course, to put the blade back, it's the reverse. And like I said, there are some, you know, like a little semicircle here and a full circle here. That'll make it pretty easy to put it back. You can't really put it back the wrong way. So there you have it. Here you see I've got some duct tape at the front end. I've got some duct tape on the side, got some duct tape on this end. The reason why is that this top part doesn't sit flush with with the base here. So what happens is as you mow, the grass clippings go inside. When I opened this top, I saw some clippings on the inside. Was not happy with that because I only had about 1 or 2 mows at that time. So I definitely think that they should have done a better job of making this flush here. But that's nothing that a little Gorilla Tape cannot take care of. So that's what you're looking at here.
So in order to get this top part open, it has 6 Torx screws. And you know, as you can see, it's 3 on each side. So it's 1, 2, and then you have
the 3, you got another one over there, 4, and then 5, and then 6. So get those out of the way. I'm also going to remove the duct tape that I originally had covering the front because it doesn't seal correctly, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to get these out of the way. I'm using my cell phone actually to record this whole thing, and sorry for the shaking, but I'm going to remove this real quick. Hold on. As I'm removing the duct tape here, I noticed that there's quite a little bit of lawn dust coming out of here. How did it get in there? Don't know. But Greenworks, if you're watching this, take note, guys. What the heck? There you have it. This is what it looks like when I lifted up the cap. Oh, look what we have here. We have a little earwig. Oh, it was inside. That's interesting. But anyways, this is what the electric motor looks like. So when buying the Greenworks mower, you have two options. You can buy the corded version, or you can buy the battery powered version. Aside from the cost being higher in the battery powered version, you're also going to get only about 40 minutes of usage on one charge of the battery. With the corded version, as long as you have a thick enough, gauge of wire, as I talked about earlier, the gauge and the distance are very important to running those amps from your outlet to the machine. So as long as you have those conditions met, you're able to run this thing as long as you get tired, pretty much. I have a very large backyard, medium-sized front yard, and then I still have lawn on the sides of the house. Mowing all of that, definitely 40 minutes is not going to be enough. So I'll give you a scenario where you're going to want definitely more than 40 minutes aside from the sides of the lawn. Yesterday I was dethatching my lawn. I'm getting it ready so I can overseed some new seed. As we're in the transition we just finished up the winter, which not much of a winter here in Southern California. And then we're already in spring. As you can hear the birds, they're all singing in the background. Along with some other crows out there too. So in the process of reseeding, you have to mow the lawn at the lowest level that the mower can go. And of course, you're using the catcher because you want to get all the clippings off. After I did that, I went ahead and I ran my dethatcher. And I removed as much thatch as I can using the electric dethatcher in my front lawn. After I ran a dethatcher, then I went ahead and I mowed again. So it's like you're mowing twice. And not only did I just mow again, but I mowed in two different patterns, north to south, east to west. So those two different patterns takes quite a bit of time on you, and probably takes a little bit of toll on the machine. So if you're doing your own reseeding and you have a back lawn, a front lawn, and you got side lawns, you definitely want to go with the corded version instead of the battery powered version. The battery powered just quite isn't there yet. The technology is not there to give you quite an enormous amount of time. Maybe one day it will get there, but right now you definitely want to go with the corded version if you do your own reseeding and if you have a large lawns to do.
Overall, I'm very satisfied with this mower. I don't have to deal with fumes, gas, air filters, don't have to deal with oil, motor oil. I can tip it over, nothing's gonna happen. And tip it over, I mean when the power's off and I wanted to scrape the bottom. I don't have to worry about any oil or gases or anything like that moving around. Although I've never owned a gas powered mower, I went straight for an electric, very satisfied. Been doing my own lawn for about a year and a half at this point, and so far this thing is a beast, to say the least.